Hello and welcome to 365 Days of Healing. Here I am with a set of cards, and these are animal dreaming cards. Our animals, not just our domesticated animals that we love and adore, but the animals out in our universe, in our world, can teach us so much about who we are and what they represent for us. Are they there to teach us? Yes, of course they are, as we are there to teach them. And so these wisdom cards, these animal dreaming cards, these oracle cards, whatever we want to call them, are very much a part of the learning that we can undertake with the animals and the essence of what those animals are and what they can teach us. So I'll shuffle the cards and then I will draw 4 cards. So the first card is the Tasmanian Devil. They're Australian cards, as we can see, because they're Australian animals. The Tasmanian Devil is about purification. The Tasmanian Devil, for those of you that don't know, is quite a feisty little creature. If you come across them in nature, they are fierce. And being fierce and protective of their own environment, of themselves and their little families, they purify what comes through their world. Unfortunately, on mainland Australia, we don't have these Tasmanian devils any longer. They used to be here on the mainland, but of course they've become extinct. And that in itself possibly can teach us lessons about the changes that are coming and that are here amongst us right at the moment. If we're not aware of our impact on our environment and their impact on their own environment, we can be in trouble. The more of our environment that we encroach upon and destroy and change because of our greed very often and our greater and greater needs as human beings, we actually can destroy what is here naturally in our environment, and then we are open to having it replaced by forces that we may not align to, or that the natural order does not align to. Now, if we go into that a little bit further, we can see the manipulation of our weather patterns because of human impact, because of chemicals being released into our atmospheres, all sorts of things that are happening. Now, we are the ones that are impacting heavily on our environment. And so what we can do to change that is up to each one of us. It is not just about what we do. It is about what is being done to our environment from outside forces. So this little animal, this Tasmanian Devil, can show us that by destroying and changing and impacting our environment from outside forces very often, plus ourselves, we are causing some species to become extinct. And the only way to change that and to create purity again is to recognise the impacts of what is coming from outside of us. Now, if we look at just GMO, genetically modified organisms or genetically modified seeds that we are being fed through the changes that have occurred to produce that is being grown, and the impact of that on our environment itself, and the impact of not having choice in what we grow, because these seeds are owned by a company, by the elite in those companies. We are beholden then for any produce that we consume in the plant world anyway. We are beholden to that elite ownership. Now, if we don't undertake to say eat more organically, to have foods that can generate themselves, because we can take the seeds from those foods and plant them and then regrow next year's crop. We have a say in what we are doing, but that is up to each one of us to make that choice. These are the impacts that are happening on our earth as we know it. And so it is up to us to undertake to try and go around what these elite people are doing that are forcing us to be beholden to them and the production of the food. The same as what these little fellows here, these little Tasmanian devils, were pushed back and back and back and killed by many predators that came into this country, and many impacts that humans created that made their species extinct in this land, this mainland Australia. And so they've been pushed back into just Tasmania. So their message is about purification. If we don't go back to the purity and the innocence and the natural order that is what life should be about, if we want to maintain life as we know it, where there are many freedoms available to us, if we don't purify what is happening, we are destined to destroy what is. So great little message here from this little Tasmanian devil. His and her natural order is to be feisty. And so we have to feistily and with absolute power start to change the way we approach our lives. So we're not just beholden to something outside of ourselves. We make choices. We can grow much of our own produce if we choose to undertake to do that. And that is the way forward, so that we can purify what is actually happening. All right, so the next card that I've drawn is the one of the ant, and the ants show us the strength that we need to take from observing ants in our environment. Now, ants work together as a community for the benefit of the whole. And we can take a lot of advice from that if we begin to work together for the benefit of the whole, to maintain the natural order of what we have been blessed with on this earth plane, we will lose what we have. If we look outside of ourselves to be looked after, it does not work that way. Each of us have to undertake and come together with strength to withstand what is occurring in the world around us. And ants and bees, if we looked at bee colonies, would begin to see that if we work together for the good of the purity, the innocence, and purify what we are thinking, doing, and being, then we have some hope for our future. It's not when we don't have to buy into what we are told to do. We have the strength to withstand that. And the further we go along on this, the further we work together towards something of beauty, the more uplifted we all become, and the more we have this joy and the harmony surrounding us. So this ant shows us what that strength is about, and working together as community for the good of our earth. All right, so the next card is the eagle, and the eagle is the spirit. So it is the king of the bird world. It is majestic, and it is full of the understanding that we only need to look to the spirit of purity, of love, of harmony, and rise to our greatest yearning for those things that are full of innocence and love, to know that we can overcome that. So we need to rise in spirit, each one of us, so that we can go forward into this earth plane and start to raise the vibrational energies and the frequencies that are surrounding us, so that we as a community that believe in love, harmony, joy, and bliss can rise to the point where the elite, the cabal, whatever word we want to place at their feet, begin to fall over, because they cannot withstand that strong spirit, that strength of community that will purify our earth. And we are capable of doing that. We just have to hold the line of the essence of those things. And we do have to put on the warrior template, I suppose, not to fight per se, but to withstand the pressure that is coming at us because of things that are being rolled out around us. And if our spirits are not aligned to the highest order of love, then we will fall over. We won't make it. We need to come together as a community now, and we need to stand tall as warriors in a tribe. Now, the next card that I'm going to draw is the platypus, and the platypus represents women's wisdom. All right, so this is our future. This is the change of the order. Women's wisdom, the divine feminine, is rising, and it is a change of the order from the old masculine template, which was and is a patriarchal society that has looked at war, it has looked at division, it has looked at mastery over anything that stands in its way, and it has looked at just taking anything for its survival. Women's divine feminine power, women's wisdom, works from another paradigm. It is about nurturing, loving, protection, and standing tall and strong as the female warrior that can withstand anything, because the love of a woman is the most powerful love that you can begin to understand. You will understand that if you are a mother, that energy of protection and love and nurture that you have for your children. You will willingly give your life for their survival, particularly when they are young. For if you have animals, you will understand what that protection and that level of love is about. It is not about fighting. It is about standing in the presence of strength, in the presence of your spirit that will stand tall and withstand anything that is going to attempt to destroy you. So here we are, some fantastic cards today. It's about purifying the earth as we've known it. This little Tasmanian Devil is showing us how we can destroy it all so easily. It is about the strength of the new tribe, of the community that works towards the highest good of everything around it, which is the ant. If we have the spirit, the strength to soar to our greatest understanding of love and joy, harmony and bliss, we will understand what that heightened awareness of the spirit which comes through the eagle is about. All right, it is the overlord, I suppose. And then women's wisdom is what will lead us out of this dilemma that we are finding ourselves in. So if we meditate on the likes of these cards, they have great messages for us through a different way of looking at and breaking down the patterns in this world, in this 3D world. The more we look to this, the more we meditate on rising out of the dilemma that we feel ourselves in, the control that is around us in our world today, and it's global, not just here in Australia. But if we can see our way clear to moving and changing the template of what we've been living with and what we are being forced to live with, we have a way out of this. It may mean changing where we live. It may mean growing our own produce once again. It may mean going back to living in a more tribal situation with our own little collectives of people that believe the same patterning that is coming from a place of light and love, not one of darkness and robbing other souls of their spirit. So come on, people, we can do this, we can do it together, and that's our healing. Namaste, my friends.